The tagline for this movie is, "Don't see it alone." I saw this movie alone. I'm such a beast. Paranormal Activity, the movie with a ridiculously large amount of hype. It was originally just doing midnight showings in a very small amount of theaters. Downtown Theater in Lincoln, Nebraska was one of the original theaters it was in. Like, I don't know how many, like 18 or something. I don't know, but midnight showings for like 2 days in our art house theater downtown. But now it's in, you know, our big 14 screen theater downtown, playing all day, just like it is in a lot of theaters now, because now it's widely released and making a lot of money. A movie that cost $15,000 to make is up to like 40 million, I think. That is ridiculously awesome. So I was so sick of everyone telling me to see this movie. I'm not talking about online, I'm talking about in my town. So there's like everyone in my town has seen this movie, and they're just going crazy over it. So I'm on break this week. I saw this movie 2 nights ago. I saw it Monday night, and yes, I did go alone. The reason I went alone is because it's rated R and I'm not 17, I am 16. And when I usually go see R-rated movies, I go with my dad, but I didn't want to see this with my dad because my dad's a wuss. I got a ticket for it because I got my father to buy my ticket, and then I snuck in. And if I went with a friend, that would just blow my cover. I try to do it as professionally as possible. Because there were a decent amount of people in this movie. A lot of people are saying that, you know, the true joy of this movie is seeing with a big crowd of people. Had a lot of fun, everyone's screaming. Yeah, my theater did have a good amount of people in it. This movie really is just a one-time thing. I would say do see it in the theater, like right now, if you want to see it. It's not a movie that you really is going to be all that much fun, you know, watching on DVD. You know, it really is intense watching it on the big screen. Is this the scariest movie I've ever seen? No, it's not. But, you know, the realism effect that this movie has is really, really authentic. It is, it's great. It really is. This movie definitely completely obliterates, you know, Blair Witch Project and Quarantine in terms of, you know, it seeming real. It's basically just these two people in this house, and they really do seem like just another young, stupid couple living in San Diego. It's just like Blair Witch Project. They use their real names. Both of their IMDb filmographies are completely blank. But they did fine jobs. I don't even know if there was a script for this movie. I really don't. There was no ending credits at all. That's one thing I loved, how there's absolutely no ending credits. The whole theater just sat there like unaware if they were supposed to leave or not. And I'm getting a text message from a young girl named Hannah. Anyway, the actors, if we can call them actors, you know, they did fine. It really does seem real. It really does. That's really all I can say. They carry the film well. They keep it interesting. For a film that does have a lot of downtime, this movie really isn't. A lot of people have been saying the beginning is slow. This movie isn't like, oh, it sets up for like 20 minutes, then it's like non-stop scares. It might sound boring, but I kind of like that about this movie. I'm just going to get out there. I like this movie. I really, really did enjoy this movie. But I am going to eventually start talking about this movie in a negative way, and it's going to make it seem like I didn't like it, but I'm just going to talk about how I think it could have been better. Pretty slow in the beginning. It's fine. I kept my interest throughout. There was really not a moment of this movie where I started to get bored or lost interest. It is really, you know, non-stop suspense. You know, you're really into what's going on. The best parts about this movie are, you know, when they're sleeping at night, and, you know, it goes through many, many days where they filmed, and they would just put it on the same tripod, so it's like the same exact shot over and over again. You really grow used to it. It's really awesome. You know, one night, you know, they're sleeping, you know, something happens, you know, and then, you know, next morning they're just kind of like talking about it, and, you know, another night, you know, something else small happens. It's just kind of over and over again. And although it's interesting, it's suspenseful, it's chilling, but it does get a bit frustrating at times because you just kind of want something to happen. But, you know, at the same time, I think it would have kind of killed the realism. So, although I'm like kind of picking at it, thinking it could have been better, I don't know if I would want it to have been more, because the very last scene in this movie was, it kind of killed the realism effect, and it kind of felt, you know, it just felt like kind of like another movie. I'm just talking about the very last scene. I wasn't really all that big of a fan of it. I think they could have ended it on a better note. You know, near the end, it does get really, really exciting and really freaky. The movie really doesn't have cheap jump scares. You know, they have that terrible, dumb trailer of, you know, the audience's real reaction with the jumping up and down. It's not like that. It's just really creepy and just really suspenseful and really chilling and really intense. I did like the characters. The girl got a little annoying, but, you know, she's being friggin' haunted by a demon. It's kind of understanding. The guy was actually really funny. I don't know who names their son Mika, but he was, I really liked him. I don't really realize much of like what what is behind going on to like the very, very end. They just kind of throw that at you, which I think they could have done a little better with it. Maybe there could have been a little more driving it throughout the film. Either way, I did really have a lot of fun with this movie. I definitely think it succeeds on what it set out to do. It's fun for what it is, you know, it's this epic phenomenon right now where people go to the theater and get scared and, you know, watch it. And I think there's going to be a lot of people disappointed now because of the epic hype. But I know that, you know, for what it is, I think it's a great movie. It does feel real. You know, that's the thing. These people do feel like a real couple, and it really does. They don't overdo it to the point where we really do believe this crap is happening. That's what's good about it. You know, it doesn't get, you know, completely over the top. I think the very last scene kind of did that, where you know, it's just a movie. But you know, the rest of it really is thoroughly suspenseful. It's a lot of fun. That's really it. There's really not much else to say. I think it could have been better, but you know, for what it is, I really enjoyed it. So overall, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10.